Hi everyone, in this video I'll be giving you all the recipe of the new for 340 or auras in aura craft game. So 60 auras, new auras has been added into the aura craft game after a new update, guys. So I'll give you all the recipe for all the auras. So let's start. First of all, I'll start with water. So these are first 5 are already unlockable. So now the next one is for plant. Plant can be made by water and earth. Then we have lava. Lava can be made by fire and earth. Magma can be made by lava and lava. Life can be made by time and tree. Tree can be made by plant and plant. Uh, Air can be made by tree and tree. Infinite. For infinite you need time and time. And for dust you need plant and fire. Ice can be made by water and time. For sky you need wind and air. Spirit can be made by dust and fire, and snow can be made by ice and spirit, and night can be made by sky and time. So let's move to next. So the cryozone can be made by time and ice. Glacier can be made by ice and earth. Earthquake can be made by earth and spirit, and tornado can be made by spirit and wind, and spout can be made by water and tornado. Magic can be made by spirit and spirit. Mystic can be made by time and magic. Shimmer can be made by magic and wind. Storm can be made by water and earth, and rainbow can be made by spirit and storm. Cloud can be made by air and air, and harmony can be made by cloud and freedom. Let's move to others. Now the guys, energy can be made by water and dust. Space can be made by sky and sky. Gravity can be made by sky, energy and space. Stone can be made by earth and earth. Metal can be made by fire and stone. Power can be made by energy and life. Platinum can be made by metal and power. Star can be made by earth and space. Solar wind can be made by wind and star. Galaxy can be made by space and space. And for vortex you need earth and galaxy. For black hole you need vortex and space. Void can be made by time and black hole. And now the void can be made by time and black hole. Yin yang can be made by water and fire. Monk can be made by yin and water. Ninja can be made by monk and fire. Blossom can be made by ninja and plant. And spring can be made by ninja and plant. Death can be made by life and cycle. God can be made by sky and light. Sad can be sad are can be, guys, you can get sad from the rare shop. So cycle and pure all are unlockable. Sorcerer can be made by magic and magic. Blizzard can be made by storm and snow. The next is hurricane can be made by storm and storm. Lightning can be made by energy and storm. Plasma can be made by lightning. Swamp can be made by water and tree. Tree can be made by tree, energy is tree. Rose, plant and nature. Love, rainbow and rose. Bubbles can be made by love and magic and water. Ring for fire can be made by fire and magic. Glitter can be made by the rainbow and shimmer. Serenity can be made by harmony, and sunshine can be made by energy and sky. Dark matter can be made by space and time. And aurora borealis can be made by space and spirit. Supernova can be made by gravity and star. North star can be made by star and aurora borealis. And next is starlight can be made by, guys, star magic. And planet can be made by earth and star. Portal can be made by magic and vortex. Angel can be made by magic and portal. Rift can be made by wind and portal. Fairy can be made by magic and life. Butterfly can be made by nature and life. Firefly can be made by star and life. Nebula can be made by gravity and life. Science can be made by life in space. Rocket can be made by space and science. Technology can be made by energy and science. And let's move further. So frostbite can be made by blizzard and life. Treenet can be made by life and tsunami. Daisy can be made by life and rose. Royalty can be made by life and god. Heaven can be made by sky and god. Poseidon can be made by Trident god, and Angel can be made by god and time. Zenith can be made by life and life. Beacon can be made by starlight and Zenith. Beacon can be made by so starlight. Beacon can be made by starlight and Zenith, and AI can be made by Zenith and technology. Super can be made by power and energy. Superhero can be made by life and super life and super. JD can be made by superhero and divine. Space can be made by power and angel. Waterfall can be made by water and power. Courage can be made by power and power. Toxic can be made by power and power. Fire and death, and radioactive can be made by energy and toxic. Explosive can be made by plasma and radioactive. Adrenaline can be made by life and explosive. Sleep can be made by time and monk. And nightmare can be made by sleep and death. Future can be made by infinite time. Abundance can be made by infinite and monk. Vision can be made by infinite and god. Joy can be made by sad and cycle. Yoda can be made by joy, Jedi and joy. Speed can be made by ninja and wind. Demon can be made by ninja and fire. And Big Bang can be made by space and explosive. Buddha can be made by monk and energy. And hyper can be made by adrenaline and speed. Darkness can be made by void and death. Boss can be made by darkness and power. Quasar can be made by galaxy and pure. Coal can be made by stone, and gold can be made by water and coal. Infinite vortex can be made by infinite and vortex. Gold can be made by water and coal. Infinite vortex can be made by infinite and vortex. Freedom can be made by joy and life. Freedom can be made by joy and life. People are very confused about freedom, so just get this recipe. Muse can be made by rainbow and Buddha. Darkness can be made cursed can be made by darkness. Troll can be made by technology and cursed. Rain can be made by sad and cloud. Gem can be made by call and call. Treasure can be made by stone and gem. Calm can be made by monk and air. Gen can be made by calm and ninja. RNG can be made by yin yang and time. Luck can be made by RNG and life. And rhythm can be made by RNG infinite. Twilight can be made by sky and light. Sky and night. Mystery can be made by infinite and infinite. Wonder can be made by life and mystery. Deception can be made by wonder and mystery. Hidden can be made by darkness and deception. Ocean can be made by water and water. Sand can be made by stone and dust. Tropical can be made by sand and ocean. Tesla can be made by lightning and metal. Bat can be made by, guys, so you have to guys get it from the cave present in the game, so I'll show you later. So now just challenge also can be unlockable, so you just need to go to the highest peak of the game and you will get this challenge. And Batman can also be made by Bat and superhero, so once you get Bat you will get the Batman as well. Now the devil can be made by devil made by god and death. Reaper can be made by devil and life. Phoenix can be made by Phoenix, life and fire. Dragon can be made by power and Phoenix. Rage can be made by demon and energy. Vengeance can be made by life and reaper. Revenge can be made by rage and vengeance. Itadori can be made by soccer and rage. Funk can be made by future and rhythm. KO can be made by ninja and rage. Omniscient can be made by god and future. Constellation can be made by star and sky. Zodiac can be made by constellation and omniscient. Perfection can be made by gem and time. Balance can be made by perfection monk. Unity can be made by power and life. Geometry, for geometry you need unity and balance. Desert can be made by sand, and Phoenix can be made by geometry and desert. And past can be made by wonder and future. Phoenix can be made by geometry and desert. Past can be made by wonder and future. Karma can be made by past and future. Screaming can be made by power and boss. Noob can be made by silent troll. Chaos can be made by unity and death. Doom can be made by Chaos and Reaper. Moon can be made by night and stone. Alien can be made by moon and rocket. UFO can be made by alien and rocket. Third eye can be made by moon and monk and rainbow. Eternal flame can be made by energy and life. And what is that? Apollo? Is that Apollo? Yeah, Apollo can be made by sun and god. Jesus can be made by lightning and god. Ominous can be made by courage and time. Radiance can be made by courage and energy. Euphorium can be made by energy and radiance. Inspiration can be made by time and power. Ecstatic can be made by life and water. Mermaid can be made by ocean. And tropical breeze can be made by air and calm. Tranquility can be made by sleep and calm. Equinox can be made by tranquility and serenity. Dream can be made by time and sleep. Wildfire can be made by fire and fire. Volcano can be made by lava and earth. Geyser can be made by water and volcano. Eruption can be made by geyser and magma. Crust can be made by earth and eruption. Relativity can be made by gravity and vision. Floral can be made by rainbow and spring. Eternal can be made by energy and infinite. Harp can be made by rhythm and jam. Dubstep can be made by power and rhythm. Hip hop can be made by speed and rhythm, and pulse can be made by love and rhythm. Trap can be made by accuracy and rhythm. Synthwave can be made by rhythm and technology. Tectonic can be made by synthwave and speed. Chromatic can be made by synthwave and plasma. Magnetic can be made by stone and gravity. Necromancer can be made by death and energy. Drought can be made by desert and dirt. Giga can be made by divine and noob. And wrath can be made by death and spirit. Vampire can be made by bat and life. Glass can be made by fire and sand. So from vampire, all the new 60 auras been beginning starting. So just make the note of it. So next is diamond can be made by gem and glass. Shadow can be made by darkness and starlight. Reflect can be made by shadow and glass. Sapphire can be made by ocean and diamond. Cronus can be made by devil and time. Super villain can be made by devil and super. And corrupt can be made by super villain and supreme. Shark can be made by aquatic and tropical. Prophet can be made by future and vision. Spy can be made by deception and hidden. Metaphors can be made by technology and galaxy. Ancient can be made by Phoenix and past. Dreams can be made by ancient and future. Nirvana can be made by Buddha and death. Depressed can be made by silent metaphors. Alone can be made by death, life and depressed. Werewolf can be made by death and cycle. Alpha can be made by werewolf and alone. Heal can be made by difference time. Supernatural can be made by mystery and death. Terror can be made by alone and supernatural. And supreme can be made by so genius can be made by supreme and love. Cute can be made by love and shimmer. And hypernova can be made by black hole and black hole. Insane can be made by can be made by Infinite and Metaverse. Kawaii can be made by Infinite and Metaverse. Undefined can be made by Hypernova and Hypernova. Mirage can be made by Mystery and Reflect. Omega can be made by Undefined and Supreme. Drip can be made by First Bite and Supreme. Big Head can be made by Omega and Noob. Shockwave can be made by Lightning and Explosive. Eclipse can be made by Cycle and Space. Solstice can be made by Eclipse and Nirvana. The Fire can be made by Nirvana and Wind. Camo can be made by Hidden and Nature. Horizon can be made by Mirage and Ocean. And the last one is Bonfire. Bonfire can be made by Fire and Air. So one of the few auras is left right now, because I don't have the premium one, so I need premium one to make all of them. So the few of them is left, guys. So I hope you get it. Thanks for watching. These are the all new auras, and hope you like it. Thanks for watching.